Hey, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Monday's Market Outlook here at Topkin Options. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz, and stand by for the brief. Had a great weekend over in Punta Gorda at the air show, the Florida International Air Show. Took off Friday morning, early morning dawn patrol flight across the state. Had a great time. Flew with the Dash Jet. Then we got over there and actually did a media flight. Got to fly with a nice ABC 7 Kristen Clark reporter. So we took her out and did a little dogfighting and maneuvering, and she lasted about 30 seconds. But that was fun. Flew for the air show Saturday and Sunday, and yesterday we actually went flying, took Thunderbird 8 crew chief flying right there. That was a blast. And then how do you end a great, well, this was awesome. It was really crappy weather down here in South Florida last night. It was nice over in Punta Gorda. So we popped up over the top of the overcast, got airborne, started heading back to Southeast Florida here. And here's what greeted us. A night instrument approach as I'm sucking wingtip in the back seat right here as my front seater's trying to see the runway, and I'm flying formation here. So when you have a beautiful air show weekend, ending it with a precision approach, precision section approach down to minimums in a pouring rainstorm, I guess that's the dues you have to pay. But okay, weekly brief. We just knocked out a weekly options brief. Covered the bear call spread out to Wednesday. We're selling into this pop on the S&P 500, so we took a look at the 30.95, 3100 bear call spread out to Friday. It's already up 350-ish bucks from the time I sent out the text alert. Did a private coaching call this morning with Amy. We're in a one-day trade. We sold the 30.85, 30.90 bear call spread for today. This expires this afternoon. It's already up 63% or 2,100 bucks. Couple of hours of work, 2,100 bucks, ain't too shabby. So very, very happy with that one-day trade. This is back burner moving to front burner. We have a lot of stuff going on in the world, folks, but these people in the back, just because, here's one of my wisisms. The market only cares when it cares. And just because we're not, our media or you aren't paying attention to something doesn't mean it's not happening. So on the anniversary of the embassy seizure in Iran, they announced that they've been just violating the hell out of the sanctions. So here we go. We're getting a nuclear-armed Iran who promises to wipe Israel off the face of the map, as well as kill as many Americans as they can. But don't worry, the Trump administration has imposed sanctions on top aides to the Iranian leader. I thought the last time they did this, the president said, huge sanctions, massive sanctions. Nobody's done tighter, more heavier sanctions on Iran than me. And then there's more. Is there another round of super hard, tough, super sanctions, Mr. President? Folks, this is going to come to a head. You have a country hell bent on getting a nuclear weapon and who screams death to America and death to Israel on a daily basis. Are you cool with that? Right? At least, and don't get me wrong, don't fall out of your chair here. Adolf Hitler was smart in this respect. At least he lied, right? Neville Chamberlain getting off the airplane. I have a signed document from Adolf Hitler. There will be peace in our time. Yay! Hitler's like, you wouldn't believe what I signed. I told those guys we're not going to do anything. And he steamrolled across Europe and killed 6 million Jews. At least he lied. In today's world, folks, we have a country who's telling liberals and Democrats, oh, you Iran, crazy Iran, saying you want to kill us in Israel. Oh, come on. They're going to, folks. Why am I ranting about this? It's going to become an issue. The drone shoot down, the tanker seizures, the attack of Saudi oil fields. Iran has been way too quiet, and when Iran is quiet, they're doing something. So stand by for military action. Futures had a big pop today. Futures surged to record highs on China trade deal. Everything's great. A White House senior official said a deal with China is almost there. And here's the update, folks. A senior White House official said the deal's almost there. but talks continue on tech transfer and intellectual property protections and enforcement, which killed the last deal. Huh. If it does happen, Trump wants to do the signing in Iowa or somewhere in the U.S. And then you had Mr. Magoo, Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, kind of mumbling around out there. The mid-level talks are optimistic and things are looking good. Listen to the Chinese, folks. The South China Morning Post. Chinese government is reportedly taking a cautious approach in choosing a venue for the Phase 1 deal and will avoid giving too many concessions. They ain't flying to sit in the middle of Iowa to sign a trade deal, folks. China will not fully acquiesce to the key U.S. trade demand of what? Intellectual property. And the China's Ministry of Commerce said what? We ain't buying the president running around Marine One. They're going to huge ag buys, 40 to 50 billion. Hey, Mr. President, China noted that the biggest year they've ever had in their history was back in 2013, 29 billion. But they're going to buy 40 to 50 under you. Folks, don't believe this stuff. We covered in Weekly Options just now selling into this FX IPOP. I'm actually going to do it personally. I'm looking to sell a bear call spread, the 42.5, 43 out the Friday. This pop on optimism of a trade deal is all optimism on the U.S. side. It ain't on the Chinese side, folks. And they still aren't using this language. What are you talking about, Phase 1? Anything we sign is the trade deal, and we want all of our sanctions removed. What? So I'm telling you, man, these two sides are talking past each other. So, hey, U.S. stocks hit new highs on what? Optimism over a trade deal and earnings. Earnings have been mixed, folks. Look at McDonald's. Look at Under Armour investigation. Look at trade. Well, the president, Wilbur Ross, and Larry Kudlow and Steve Mnuchin said everything's great. The Chinese, everything's not. We're not going to agree to all that stuff. Okay. Factory orders. Slump in September, the biggest contraction since July 2016. But, folks, I'm telling you right now, we are in the middle of a short squeeze. The Dow is up 107 points. There's a big rally today. Look at the VIX. The VIX, when I was in the live trade brief about 15 minutes ago, was up 4.5%. Market up, VIX up, something is up. And the something that is up right now, folks, is that the jobs report on Friday was an absolute blowout number to the upside. Nobody expected that big of a beat. The ADP number came in weak on Friday. It was looking for a horrible jobs report, and it was good. So good. I mean, I get that. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that good jobs report means what? Uncle Jerome really is going to sit on his hands and not cut rates even more. So this market has to fly. Last week in the Fed meeting, folks, Uncle Jerome more or less pushed us out of the net and said, hey, you got to start flapping your wings, man. We're not, we're not here forever. So the good jobs report on Friday was a little bit of a short squeeze pop. It wasn't necessarily, hey, everything's all clear. I just don't believe that at all, folks. So be very, very careful. That's why we sold, a couple weekly options trades, one for today with a coaching client and one out to Wednesday with the weekly options members here. And right now, folks, very, very little volume in this rally. Okay, this is a short squeeze. We are already overextended over our ski tips right now, let alone being all the way up here. So I'm selling into this pop, and volatility is still way too cheap for where we are right now. Tomorrow on the primary live trade brief, we're going to take a look at Under Armour. The accounting probe, and hey, they might have been shifting good numbers from month to month, and Under Armour is a fantastic company. I love it more than Nike. I more or less burned all my Nike clothes, and I'm an Under Armour guy. But this might be a great time to buy. Whenever you see these type of scandals, it first of all takes a couple of years for anything to pan out, really. But if you can get Under Armour at 17% a discount, I think that's just, especially before the holidays. Yeah, 17%, down 17% today. Look at that. This is a screaming buy to me. Right now, you'd be catching a falling knife, but if you go out a couple years, as an options trader, we can hop in our joint strike fighter and fly all the way out to January of 2022 and get bullish on Under Armour. So that's your homework for the primary live trade brief tomorrow is dig around Under Armour and take a look at what's going on in there. But this let me leave you with this. This market pop on quote unquote trade optimism makes 0 sense to me. And when something doesn't make sense to me, I place a trade, period. I listen to what the Chinese say. This is sad to say. I actually trust what the Chinese are saying more about trade than I do our own government. That's telling, but it's also the truth, right? I don't know how many times the president, we stopped calling them rounds, right? The last one was the 15th round of trade talks, and they failed. So now they just changed the language to phase 1, 2, and 3 deals, whereas the Chinese are looking at us like, what are you all stupid? There ain't no, what's a phase mean, first of all? And second of all, take off all the tariffs or we're not doing anything. It's going to get very, very interesting, folks. Very interesting. So be very careful. Get ready because remember, man, markets go down a hell of a lot faster than they go up. We have seen a monster run here. Monster runs end. Monster runs end. Monster run keeps going? No, it's not. So be very, very careful. Okay. All right. I got to get going. We have Solo Amazon today at 3 o'clock. We're going to be taking a look at maybe is it time to get into what I call our seasonal trades. Everybody should have on their phone November 1st calendar reminder that says what? Seasonal trades, XRT, Amazon, Visa. These are great seasonal trades because in a couple weeks, we're all going to sit around the table, give thanks for everything we have, our family, our friends, and the next day we're going to watch TV as people beat the shit out of themselves to save $10 on a flat screen at Walmart. It's getting ready to be the season, and we can enjoy a pop in stocks here. So I think we got to get a pullback here before we go higher. But hey, man, if this is a hold your nose rally, I'm going to hold my nose and go up with it, right? You trade the market you have, not the market you want. Okay, I got to get ready. I'll go see the rest of you in Solo Amazon, or I'll see many of you tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the primary live trade brief. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge and God bless. I'll talk to you later.